Hello and welcome to episode 16 of my Fortresscraft Evolved tutorial Let's Play series. This episode will be on making and using lifts. I thought, well, I've been using stairs and that's what I will use is stairs. It's just me, I just prefer to progress down. It can be easily argued that of course that I go much longer path by doing stairs, but for those of you that like the shorter route, well, we can take a look at the lifts. And as now I'm going to need to delve even deeper, let's give you an example. So under the power storage, you know that I've been using the power storage blocks, the first ones. I'm currently using this one, Mark IIs. The Mark IIIs, where are they? Let's have a look. So the Mark IIIs, I haven't got enough, well, I've got enough nickel and titanium, but I don't want to use them unnecessarily because it's a long way to pipe them. So for that reason I stick to this one, because it's just using a tin bar and easy to get resources that aren't far from the top. But what I would like is this, which stores up to 270,000 power, Mark IV battery. I would like to make one of these bad boys, but I don't even know the material yet. Now, having said that, actually, if I remember correctly, I have picked up a couple of items. Let's see if I've lucked out, which I doubt very much. So I'm going to go scan these two quickly, and then we'll get about the business of lifts. Okay, so, oh, look at that, it's worth 25 and 30. Nice. What is it? Oh, ruby crystal. Got to be useful. And another unknown material. What's this? Biomass growth. You can see there's loads of recipes. And I've been researching a ton of stuff. Oh, look, there's something else for the Falcor. So there's another upgrade for the Falcor, which maybe I'll look into, maybe I won't. It all depends. If anyone specifically wants to look at that, mentions it in the comment, then maybe I'll look at that. Anyway, so I've still got tons of research. If you want to know what I have been researching, if we go to help, research, here's currently what I have available. Not sure what I'm going to do next, but here's what I have done so far. So as you can see, all of them. You can easily pause the video if you want to see in detail. Done all of them and done all of these. That's the latest one that I've done, advanced logistics. Anyway, let's get on with lifts. So what I want to demonstrate is, first of all, there's three things that you need to make. The lifts are underneath the conveyor belts. If you click on the conveyor belt, scroll down, you'll see there's three components that you need. There is the lift with underside piston. That's the lift that we should be placing down. There's also a lift manual control module, which allows you to manually control the lift. Don't worry, I will show you how to do that. And there's a lift compressor, which is rather cool. This allows your lifts to extend the range to about 254. But again, I'm going to show you. It's going to take some time to show this one, but I will endeavour to show you. And, oops, did I show you the materials? So for this you need 5 tin bars, for this you need some iron and tin bars, and for this you need some lithium iron and tin bars. So these materials you should be able to easily get. Okay, right, I've made a load already, as you can see down there on my hotbar. Let's show you some lifts. A lift has a range of 64 meters if you do not add anything to it. And by hovering over it, like, let's see if I can get the information up. Let's get on it. So here's a lift. You have to drill out a hole 3 by 3. So let's wait for it to get at the bottom and then I'll show you. So let's dig it out. Okay, so when you want to place your lift down, always remember to dig it down a floor below the one you're standing on. because otherwise when the lift otherwise if you don't, the lift's going to be jutting up here and you'll need to build a platform to walk onto it. So alright, I'll tell you what, let's just show you what I'm waffling about, because sometimes it can just sound like a right load of waffle, but let's actually show you what I'm trying to explain to you. So if it is on the same floor and I place the lift down there, notice I put the hole in there for it. Okay, look, that's no good to man or beast. So what we'll do, we'll rip it up. We will remove this floor. And we'll remove that from there. Now what I'll do is place the lift back down. And there you go, perfectly flush with the floor. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at to do with the lift is the manual control module. Because this first lift has access to several of my floors up there. So let's show you. So if we go up in the lift, you'll see up here, see there's floors, different floors I could visit. But if it's left automatic like this, it just goes by them, it won't stop at them. So what we can do, go back to the bottom, step off the lift. Okay, now notice when I hover over the lift, it gives us some details about the lift. There we go. Tier 1 vertical extending central piston lift. Current range 64. By default, that is what your lift will take you, that range. You can extend that range. As you can see there on the bottom left, it says adjust range by holding the Q or the E key. And that's used in alongside the compressor. But what I'm going to show you first, so I'll actually explain all of that in a moment. Let's just quickly demonstrate the manual control module. So to use the manual control module, what we'll do, I'll dig a hole over here next to the lift, dig again, and you see the lift there, and it's got that bit jutting out there, and that's why I dug that extra hole. So what we do, we select the manual lift control module and left click it so it joins to that bit there, just like so. It doesn't need any power, you just drop it down like that, attached to the side of the lift. Then I can fill this back in because we don't want a hole. Now, the difference that compressor will do, notice the lift will not automatically now move up or down. It will stay here until I use the home. Do you see on the bottom left, when I move over the lift, it says home raises the lift and lowers the lift. So if I press the home key, I can start it going up really slowly. If I press home again, I can speed it up a bit. And home again. If you keep pressing the home key, it will get it faster and faster until it reaches the maximum speed. But I don't want to go maximum speed because I want to try and show you some of my other floors and how you can use the lift. So let's slow the lift down. And there we go. Now, if I walk off the lift, it will stay level with the floor that I've got off of it. So if I walk back onto the lift, it will not move. But I want to get to this next floor up. So all as I do is press the home key. I'll press it twice, 3 times. That's enough. And when it gets to near to here, you can either walk off the lift or just slow it down and then walk off. And you see, it will stay with you at the floor that you're on. Okay, so you now get you now have a full understanding, hopefully, of how the lift manual control module works and what it is for, and of course how you attach it to the lift. So that's all good. So let's go back down and carry on the lift demonstration. Now the next one's going to be a lot more difficult, simply because it's going to be a lot more dangerous. For the lift compressor, which is what I want to show you next, I was talking about the lift earlier, wasn't I, in its range. It says 64. Well, if you press the Q key, you can lower the range. Don't ask me why you'd want to do that, but that's probably a very good reason. Well, let's say you've not dug 64 tiles down, you've only dug 50 tiles down, then you can lower it to 50 so it doesn't hover above the floor at the top. Because if you dig down 50 tiles and you set the range to 64, when it reaches the top, it's going to be raised above the floor as high as it can go. But by setting the limit, you make sure that doesn't happen. Anyway, let's get on to this, because otherwise I'm only going to get myself confused. So now we're going to look at the lift compressor. With the lift compressor, we can extend the default from 64 up to a higher amount. And you're probably asking, well, that's all well and good, you idiot, but what's the higher amount? So let's try and show you without dying. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom of this shaft that I've dug, and I didn't want to dig out the shaft. I didn't want to try and do everything in this episode, but I did want to make sure I did show enough information. I don't like when I watch someone and they skip by something which they knew how to do easily, but I didn't, so I do like to always try and show. Okay, so here, the level I'm at here is, I didn't remember to count it up. So anyway, I'm going to keep going down. The lift will tell us when we plug it in what level it is at, what its depth is. So there's another lift that I have, but I think that one's going to take me too far. So let's go down with this one. You hear that other lift following me? That's so funny. Oh, went one too many. Let's put that back. Okay, so right, what we have here, with the lift compressor, you have to give it power. Okay, that is the only thing with the lift compressor. It's a wonderful idea that you can have a really long lift going up to 250 something odd tiles, but the trouble is you have to drill down power to it. You have to get power to it. So let's start here at this level. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lift down like so. I'm now going to put a lift compressor, again exactly the same as placing the lift module. You click it adjoining the bottom, the base of the lift. So I'm going to highlight the compressor and left click it there. Now what you'll see is it's gaining power from my battery. That's powering it up, and that will then give it extra pressure for the lift. So what I'm now going to do is walk around here, and if we take a look at the lift, there we go. There we go, that's it. Its current range is 64. And as we know, that's what the default is without a compressor. So let's extend that. Now, if I press the Q key, you'll notice, like I said, it goes down. But we want to extend it, because we don't want to have to keep placing down lifts. We want to get as maximum range as we can. So this is with one compressor. Let's extend it to 74. And let's see how that turns out. Notice that the lift has stored pressure. I'm trying to show it so you can see that, but it will keep moving off. And notice the extend, it shows us the range, the extent of the lift. Alright, I'm one off with that. So that would need to be 75. Okay, so that's 75, but you know what? We want to go see how deep we can take it. So let's rip that up, let's rip the lift up, let's collect that, and let's rip that up, because we won't need that. And we're going to drill down even further. So first of all, we're going to look at how deep one compressor can take us. Once we know the range of one compressor, then we will see if we can go deeper and use another compressor. Or maybe only one compressor is needed. So that's what I want to demonstrate. How many compressors do you need on a lift? And indeed, how deep can a lift go? I'm basically going to go to the end of that beam. Oops. See the beam coming down? I'm just going to see how far I can go, and at the end of that beam, then I'm going to place the lift and we will give a test on the compressor. I apologise for the darkness. But I don't want to put my light on as it will drain the battery and I'll end up dying and it'll just waste time. So I'm just going to keep drilling and hopefully you will get a little light on the subject every now and again when Arthur decides to give us a little light. I'm going to call him Arthur because it's easier than pronouncing whatever else his name is, Anther or whatever it is. Okay, we keep going. The reason you'd want to do this, like I say, is it saves you then having to do lots and lots of shafts, lots and lots of lifts. Providing you don't hit a massive ore node with 10 billion ores in it. Alright, I'm being ridiculous, why not? I'm here digging a bleeding lift hole, shaft, you know, so I can afford to be a bit ridiculous to save the boredom of doing this. Well, actually it's not boring. I love the terraforming in Fortresscraft. Okay, so we've still got a bit of a beam, so we can still keep going down. Oh, we still got a beam. So we are at 176 meters now. And still going. Cool, well, nearly at 200 now. I reckon I'll be hitting the end of the beam soon. Oh, I think that's it. Let's just double check. Yeah, there we go. So that's the end of the beam. So let's place, so I'm going to put down them, and let's remove that. Let's put down my battery. Well, actually, let's put the lift down first. Make sure that you are pointing at the right surface. If you pull it on that surface, obviously your lift's going to go in up on its side. So just make sure you get the bottom tile. Okay, so there's the lift. Let's now drill a little pathway around this. God, I can't believe I've not fell down some massive cavern and died already. There's a first for me. Did I need to do it one higher? That's its reach. Yeah, I need to do the lift one higher. You all probably knew that. It was just me who didn't. Okay, right, so here's where we need it. Drill that out. Put down the lift. Put down the compressor. And put down a battery. Okay. Now let's see if we can get our lift working. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to press the E key and extend its range. And I'm going to keep keeping the E key pressed to see what the maximum is. So it's 256. So will one compressor do that? Let's find out. Well, I know I'm probably not at, I'm not at 256 depth, but that's, I just wanted to show what the maximum is you can do. So there you go, and look, do you see how it's landed? Oh, I want to get rid of that hole. If I come off my lift and fall down there, that is going to be very unpleasant. So let's quickly fill that in. Okay, do you see how the lift come up above the floor? That's because I've extended the range too much. But you know what? We can sort that out, because I've drilled. Oh no, wait a minute. What I want to do. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I did. No, what I wanted to do there was count the floor that we were at. So let's just do that again. I need to remember what the surface number is, how deep I am at the surface, to count down 256 tiles. Right, so I'm at a depth of 70 meters, so 256 on that will be 326. I think that's right. 326 meters. So that's what I need to go down to. You can see, wait a minute. Right, so let's dig this up. Let's dig that up. Because what I'm going to do now is put down another one of them. There we go. And now we can carry on down to 326. I just know I'm going to forget that figure. Hopefully you'll remind me if I do. The one thing about Fortresscraft you must have realised if you've played is it takes ages to do anything, because generally you're dealing with layers hundreds deep. I mean, well, it goes up to about 1700 I think, or something like that deep. And can you imagine trying to route power down here, or a conveyor belt of some type? Oh no, it's just, it takes a long time. And I mean, we're only at 200 odd feet, 225. You most certainly have to enjoy the terraforming in order to play this, which thankfully I do. Oh dear. Right, have I made my... Oh no, I'm still only at... But the problem is now... I don't know where it's... Okay. So that beam is the one to the right. That means I need a 9 square around it. Oh, that's so lucky. Right, okay, so... Carry on here. Landed in some cavern, coal caverns. You can see one of my conveyor belts over there. That was lucky, we weren't too far to drop. You can see it's so easy to die. Anyway, we're heading for 326, so I've got to keep going. Let's put a torch down, why don't I? Yeah, that saved me a bit of digging. Oh wow, there's the timer. Well, you know what, I want to quickly try and do just a little deeper, and then we'll just test it out. Make sure the beam is still, yeah, it's still reaching. Well, actually, I don't want to waste your time. I know that some of you won't be happy if I make the episode too long. So what I'll do, let's test it from here. At a depth of 257, it's not the full range of what I can go. I can go to 326, but just so I can simply show you this. So do that. Place the lift down. Place the compressor. Oh, actually, no, let's place this first. And then place the compressor. Right, okay, so what's it telling us? Yeah, the pressure's building up, and I can't remember, was it 71 that floor above? Anyway, let's just extend it to its max. Or wait a minute, 180, let's try. Oh no, I'll just do it all the way. I'm not sure. 200, let's check what that is. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, that must have been where I fell through the floor, so I just need to do a couple more. There we go. No, you're not happy? Yeah, you are happy. So 187 it looks like. That's the range that I've now got on it. So as you can see, you only need one compressor and it'll take you to the max range. And there we are. Look at that. How cool is that? So that's the lift compressor and that's the lift module. You now hopefully have a full understanding of them both. And of course the lifts. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.